What's going on, everybody? Kyle Powers here, Haven Real Estate Group at EXP Realty. K-State grad, turned contractor, turned real estate agent and investor. Today, I have a very, very special guest with me today for the Local Legends of the Flint Hills episode. And we have Brandon Clark here with Wed and Sons Roofing. Brandon, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Let's dive right in, man. Let's tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your family. Kind of give me an idea of who you are and the man behind this part of Wed and Sons.
Well, thanks for having me today. My name is Brandon Clark, married to my wife Amanda now for almost 15 years. We have 4 amazing kiddos, ranging from almost a 12-year-old down to an almost 4-year-old. So as you know well, it gets busier on these stages of life. But been in Manhattan since 2004. Graduated K-State, was a teacher for 2 years at Woodrow Wilson, actually, and then met Alan Weddle, owner of Wed and Sons, at church through a life group. And one thing led to another, and here I am. We're working here. So
that's awesome. I guess I didn't realize that you were a teacher for a little bit. So came to the good side, right? Of being on the business side. Right. Awesome. So 2 years at Woodrow. What year was that when Alan plucked you out of the pool and brought you over here?
Yeah, so that would have been about 2012. And so I've been at Weddle and Sons now for almost 12 years, 11 and a half years. But yeah, enjoyed the 2 years I taught at Woodrow Wilson. It was great to be at a local school. I loved the kids. Just felt like working at Weddle and Sons was a great opportunity that I just couldn't pass up.
And hasn't looked back since.
That's right.
Brandon, tell me a little bit, where are you from? Right, I want to know what town you came from in.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Kingman, Kansas. It's a small, it used to be 4A school. I think it's down to 1A school now, but it is just west of Wichita, about 35, 40 minutes. Great little community. I actually grew up in several different states, though. Lived in Kansas for many years, most of my life. Lived in just north of Atlanta, Georgia for 4 years. And then little known fact, I lived in Ireland for 2 years. And so Ireland was a great place. Got a lot of great memories there, especially because that's where I've picked up my first golf club. And that's where I hit my first golf ball. So give a lot of credit to Ireland, but most of my life I spent in Kingman, Kansas.
Good old Kingman, Kansas. Know that town all too well anymore. So, well, that's awesome. So 2012, you came over here to Wed and Sons. You kind of started with this whole process of it all. Talk to me a little bit about Wed and Sons itself. Obviously, I know Alan, I know the family, I know all that kind of stuff. So give me a little bit about the history of Wed and Sons, kind of what that looks like and how they got started and so forth.
Yeah. Absolutely. So the Wed and Sons started, it's almost 25 years ago now. 3 young brothers, homeschooled boys, started it, I think they were 13, 15, 17, around that range. They had a friend who actually had a roof that no one in town wanted to touch because it was a large barn-style roof, extremely steep, 4 layers of shingles and a layer of shakes and a redeck. And since no one would touch it, they thought, well, why not? We'll give this a shot as our first job. Did the job, went well, finished it well. And then after that, I thought, well, if we could do this type of job, we can do just about any type of roof. And so from that, Wed and Sons was started. They called it Wed and Sons because they wanted people to have the impression that there was an adult involved, when in fact there really wasn't. Mr. Mark Weddle, the parent, was involved maybe with some advisory type position, but really didn't do a whole lot with the company. So yeah, the 3 boys started it when they were young, and then have just slowly grown into what it is today. We're currently in Manhattan, Kansas. It's kind of our home base. We've been here for, like I said, about 25 years now. We also have locations in Kansas City. We have a location in Salina. We're up north in Nebraska, both in Omaha and Lincoln. And then we also have a location out in Denver, Colorado, and one way up north up in Jackson, Wyoming. So it's expanded quite a bit. We've gotten our hands and feet into a bunch of different things that we never thought we'd be involved with, but it's been fun to be a part of for a long time now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I knew you guys had been recently expanding, so that's been a really neat opportunity to see that happen. So talk to me a little bit. I know that you guys do the typical roofing, right? The asphalt shingles and all that kind of stuff. So talk to me, but I also know that you do different things, right? Like everything in between. So talk to me a little bit about the different type of roofing, what you guys handle, what you kind of focus on.
So like Kyle mentioned, our primary focus is asphalt roofing, residential. It's probably makes up about 90–95% of our business. We have a service department as well, and so we have service techs that will go out and analyze roofs and figure out what's going on, why they're leaking, or what issues they might be having. And so we have a fantastic service department for repairs. We do a little bit of commercial, not a lot. We just haven't gotten into that side of the roofing yet. But we do commercial repairs. We have done some commercial projects, just nothing real big. Actually, our Denver location does a little more commercial than the rest of our locations. And then just recently, in the last several years, we've gotten into Tesla solar roofs, which has been fun. And it's been part of our expansion, especially up into the Jackson, Wyoming area. And so got involved with installing those. We're one of the first in the nation to do it. And I would say, I think, if I remember right, we're one of the top 3 Tesla solar roof installers in America, which is a fun thing to be a part of. And that has also led us into installing solar panels. And so not only do we do the Tesla solar roof, but we also do the solar panels as well. And so if the Tesla solar roof is a little bit too big of a project or too expensive for a lot of clients, then we can focus the roofing needs to the solar side of things, which will produce the same result as a Tesla solar roof. Yeah, a lot of different options, a lot of different ways that we can serve people. Also have a gutter department here locally in Manhattan. And so roofing and gutters is kind of our thing.
Opportunistic. That's pretty much what it is. I love it. I want to dive deeper into the Tesla roofs, right? Like I know that's kind of a hot button right now, or a buzzword, if you will. So let's dive deeper in the Tesla. How did you get into Tesla roofing, and tell me about that?
Yeah, so I'm actually not as involved in Tesla as other people, but I do have enough knowledge to answer that question. So we were at a roofing expo, I believe, down in Texas years ago, and Tesla had a booth set up, and we happened to stumble across it, and one of our employees started talking with them, visiting with them, and before you know it, we are heading to California to do training at the Tesla headquarters for installing roofs. So did a lot of training out there with several of our team members, and then slowly starting getting plugged into Tesla in general. Even had a lot of their main people contacting us, asking us for advice on how to create their product or how to use their product in a way that would serve clients and roofers well. Because to be honest, if you're an engineer and a technician kind of behind the scenes designing these panels, you don't really think about the roof side of it much. And so they have had lots of meetings with them to talk about how to make their product applicable for roofing. And so that's been a lot of fun, and it's been I think we started that in about 2020, and we've done an awful lot of work. Most of it is in Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, Colorado areas. They got great programs for solar products, and so that's where we do an awful lot of our work. We've done a little bit here in Kansas City as well. But yeah, it's been fun. It's kind of put us on the map in a different way than we'd ever anticipated. It's again, we're one of 3 major companies in America, I think, that are installing it. And so we do an awful lot of it, have a great team that installs them. Only have a couple of them here in Manhattan, so if anyone locally wants to put on a Tesla solar roof, just let us know.
You can be one of a kind here in Manhattan.
There you go.
That's awesome. No, I know that's been a big opportunity for you guys, and it's been really neat kind of seeing you guys progress within that space as well, because I didn't realize you were top 3 in the nation, though, and that's pretty fantastic. So, okay, so let's talk a little bit about, I know that you guys locally, you do a lot of small projects, you do a lot of big projects, everything in between. So anybody watching this, anything on that way, what is the best way to get a hold of you guys, right? Is it come in to the office? Is it whatever that is?
Well, you're certainly more than welcome to come in the office. We love to interact with people face to face, but the best way is to call our office number. Katie Weddle, our amazing admin here, she'll take down your information, and we'll go from there. But locally, we do, like I mentioned, we do roofs and gutters. We do a lot of service work. We do inspections for realtors. I know Mr. Kyle's used us many times for that. And so we'll come out and take a look at the roof. They're free. They don't cost you anything. We'll inspect the roof and then provide a picture report with a description of what we find on the roof, how much age or what the age of the roof is, or how many years of life are left. And then we'll diagnose any problems that we might have seen while we're up there and recommend either, hey, the roof needs to be repaired, or we need to look at possible replacement. And then we also do a lot of work with insurances. And so if a roof is at a place where we feel like there's damage from any type of weather-related event, we can walk a client through that process, visit with their insurance agent, with their adjuster, and kind of help them out with that whole process. And then outside of the roofing world, like I mentioned, we do gutters as well. Everything from new construction installs to repairs to tear off and removal of gutters. We added a full-time gutter in-house at Wed and Sons a couple years ago, and it's been pretty great. So it's a great opportunity for us to serve clients in a way that we haven't been able to serve them before.
And I'll put a testimonial out there for them as well. I've used Brandon and Wed and Sons for years now, and they do top notch. They're very professional individuals. Can't even tell you how many roofs that he's helped me negotiate with insurance agents and insurance adjusters and things that way to make sure we get them taken care of for clientele and everything that way. So they always do an excellent job. And I think the big thing I want to kind of put out there for these guys is that it doesn't have to be a full replacement. It doesn't have to be just that, right? You guys can do those little things. You'll put a shingle back on, go replace roof or the boots and stuff. So being able to go do that stuff, I think is a big piece of what the ability that you guys have here, which is fantastic. So yeah, no, I appreciate that, Brandon. I appreciate you jumping on here with me today. Before we kind of wrap it up, is there anything else you want to put out there for them?
No, just again, it's been a pleasure working with Kyle over the years, and I'm glad we're able to get together to do this. And the one thing I always like to talk about with Wed and Sons is we're a family-grown business. Still have the brothers that are involved. It's a great opportunity to. I've enjoyed working here for so many years, and like Kyle was talking about the inspection reports, we're very honest. So we don't tell people they need a new roof unless they really need it. We want to make sure that people understand that we're going to be upfront about the condition of the roof, and it might have 10, 15, 20 years of life left, and it might need replaced tomorrow. But yeah, we really believe in honesty and integrity. And so, yeah, appreciate you having me out here today.
Oh, of course. I will always, you guys are my go-to. So I always appreciate the work you guys do for us. So, but again, thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already and you do enjoy this content, I would appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, go and hit that little bell so you're notified of any future videos, and give us that like because it does help us grow the channel. And please, 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 if you know somebody who is interested in looking at having the roof done, looking at needing a fix or something like that, please get a hold of these guys. I'll put their contact information in the description below, so that way you guys can have that right there front and center. And then if you have any questions for Brandon, please throw it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys, and I'll get you in touch with Brandon and anyone else here in Wed and Sons and get you guys taken care of. So thank you so much for watching these videos. I really do appreciate it. Brandon, thank you so much for checking it out and joining me here today. I do appreciate it. And again, thank you for watching, and we will see you next week with our next episode of Local Legends of the Flint Hills, where business meets community. Thank you.